Welcome back to the College Grad Reflections on GameboyTV. This is called Episode 6, Savior of the Piano Recital. In the last episode, I talked about how I became the stage manager unofficially for the student recitals. And as you know, I loved managing these recitals, and not just because I enjoyed it, but also because I liked that I was in charge of something. It kind of makes me feel empowered and a leader too. Well, there was one instance where, when I was needed the most, I delivered. So the date was May 1st, 2015, and my piano teacher at Kane was having a recital featuring her most experienced piano students at Enloe Hall. There were 5 performers: Kimberlyn, Sal, Bruce, Martin, and Sarah. And if you 5 are watching this right now, this is a shout out to you guys. So anyway, I had work that Friday evening, but I requested off to go and watch the performance, which was taking place in Enloe Hall at Kane University's East Campus. The concert was to take place at 7:30 p.m. and I arrived at 7. So I arrived in the hall to a rather serious commotion. Apparently, one of the stagehands who was supposed to be at the door on the night of this performance had not shown up, or rather, he called out. So there was no one to communicate with the men in the control room right behind the seats in the hall itself. So you see, in Enloe, there's no window in the hallway to see when a performer is ready to go out. The only windows that are there are the ones in the control room. So that's why every time there's a performance, there's somebody on a headset in the hallway to relay information back and forth to the control room. There was a working monitor, but that was seen as just as a supplement. You really needed to actually have the headset on and talk back and forth with the men in the booth. So with no one in the hall to man the hallway, I, without hesitation, volunteered to work as an honorary Kane stage employee for the night. The only thing that was going to be different from any other night or any other recital I should say, was that I'm going to have the headset on and having to also be in constant contact with the personnel in the control room. Man, did it feel different to actually do some big league stage managing stuff with getting hooked up with that headset and whatnot. But what was most important for that night was that the show goes smoothly. So smooth that the audience wouldn't even notice a pickle out of place. So here are 2 pictures. I have 2 pictures here as proof from that wonderful evening. First one is a selfie with the headset on. And the second one is with Kane stage employee Sean, who I've known for a while. He helps us set up for percussion ensemble concerts. When I was part of the percussion ensemble at Kane, he and his team were there to help set up the accommodations. But on this night, he was supposed to be in the booth. But once you're comfortable talking on the headset, communication is easy. Basically, you just have to listen for important cues like, okay, so the house is ready, the lights are dimming, and, ready whenever you are. Those are just some of the things that I've had to sort of communicate back and forth to. It's important to be on the same page, and if you have any doubts about anything, don't be afraid to touch base on the other side. For example, when Bruce was ready to perform, I have to say, okay, our next performer is ready to go. I will be opening the door. And once you get the okay from the control room, then you actually open the door and you let the performer go in. Now, with the monitor in the hallway, I can tell when Bruce is ready, when Bruce has finished performing and is ready to come back into the hall. And so that was the game plan for the entire night. And the recital was such a wonderful success. We had a good turnout, and believe it or not, all the performers and my piano teacher wanted to acknowledge me in front of the audience, but since I wasn't in semi-formal attire as you saw there in the photos, I actually declined. But in piano rep class next week, I got a ton of thank yous from my fellow colleagues. That had to be my greatest outing as a stage manager for the Kane University Music Department. And with that, that concludes this episode of the College Grad Reflections here on GameboyTV. Thank you so much, everyone, and please hit that subscribe button below. And hopefully you'll be looking forward to our next episode.